They don't teach you this in school. You grow up believing that success comes from confidence, pride, and being sure of yourself. But what if I told you that everything you think is driving your success might be the very thing sabotaging it? That voice in your head that says you're special. That feeling you get when you compare yourself to others and feel superior. That desire to be known more than to be great. That is ego. And according to Ryan Holiday, it's not your ally. It's your biggest enemy, quiet, subtle, and deadly. This is the Bookkeeper, and today we're breaking down ego is the enemy. Not just a book, but a weapon against self-destruction. A wake-up call, a mirror. Let's look into it together. If this resonates with you already, let me know in the comments. Tell me where ego has tripped you up. Let's get honest. Part 1. Ego in aspiration. The saboteur before success. Ego is loudest before we've achieved anything. When you're starting out, chasing a dream, or building something, ego whispers, "You're destined for greatness. You're different. You don't need advice, they just don't get it." And that's where the trap begins. Ego inflates your perception of your skills and deflates your willingness to learn. Lesson: be a student always. Ryan Holiday says the first key is to kill entitlement. Just because you have ambition doesn't mean you deserve success. Hard truth? You're not special. And that's exactly why you can become great. Impressing people is utterly different from being truly impressive. People waste time trying to look successful instead of becoming worthy of success. Think about it. Are you doing the work, or are you performing? Strategy: replace passion with purpose. Holiday makes a distinction most people miss. Passion is emotional, impulsive. Purpose is quiet, disciplined, long-term. The ego loves passion. It makes you feel alive, urgent, important. But purpose? It demands patience, humility, stillness. That's where true growth begins, when you stop chasing validation and start committing to improvement. If you're still watching and this message is hitting deep, consider subscribing. Every week, we explore truths like this to grow together. Part 2. Ego in success. The silent assassin. You'd think ego is only a problem for the young, the ambitious, the up-and-coming. But no, ego is even more dangerous once you've made it. When you taste success, when people admire you, when your name gets attention, ego comes knocking. Again. But this time, it's disguised as confidence. Success can be a setup. Ryan Holiday shows how many brilliant people fall, not because of failure, but because they believed their own hype. They stop listening. They become defensive. They choose protecting status over learning. History is full of once great people who let ego write their downfall, from generals and CEOs to artists and athletes. Famous example, Howard Hughes. Hughes was a visionary, a genius, and also one of the most tragic cautionary tales. As he grew wealthier and more famous, his ego isolated him, distorted his decisions, and ultimately destroyed him. He didn't lose to competition. He lost to himself. Ryan's message is clear. When you're winning, stay humble, stay curious, stay a student. Practice. Get out of your own head. In success, Holiday encourages us to practice objectivity. Can you detach from the praise? Can you view your wins and mistakes without emotion? Stoicism plays a big role here. Ego thrives on emotion. pride, fear, jealousy. But the greats learn to observe, not react. Detached from the results, attached to the process. Let that sink in. Maybe even write it down. Detached from the results, attached to the process. What's one time your ego got loud after a win? Drop it in the comments. We all learn better together. Part 3. Ego in Failure. The Master of Despair. The final and cruelest form of ego? It shows up when you lose. When things fall apart, ego whispers, "You don't deserve this. They betrayed you. You're better than this." Instead of taking responsibility, ego finds blame. Instead of rebuilding, ego chooses pity. Instead of growing, ego breaks. When ego makes you fragile. Ryan reminds us, ego is not just arrogant, it's fragile. The more you need to be admired, the harder you fall when you're not. Failure hurts, but ego makes it unbearable. Why? Because it attaches your identity to your success. You're not just someone who failed. Ego tells you that you're a failure. That's a lie, and believing it is where the real defeat happens. The shift. Turn ego into awareness. So how do you defeat ego in hard times? Accept reality. Don't argue with the moment. It is what it is. Own your part, even if you were wronged. Own what you can improve. Detach your identity. You are not your results. You are not your resume. Failure is feedback, and ego is optional. Ego sucks us down like the law of gravity. But humility? That's how you rise again. If this is giving you a mindset shift, hit the like button. It helps more people see this. And maybe it'll be the wake-up call someone else needs. The Big 3 Battles. Holiday breaks the journey down into 3 ego traps and how to face them. Aspire. Ego wants attention. You need discipline. Don't perform. Practice. Succeed. Ego wants praise. You need humility. Don't protect the image. Protect the mission. Fail. Ego wants to blame. You need responsibility. Don't hide. Grow. These aren't one-time lessons. They're daily practices. Tools to fight ego daily. Ryan Holiday doesn't just explain the problem. He gives tools to beat it. Journaling, to clear your mind and spot ego-driven thoughts. Service. Do things for others. It shrinks the self. Silence. In a world that rewards noise, silence builds strength. Mentorship. Stay teachable, even when you're teaching. Sobriety of thought. Ask yourself, what's driving this? Ego or truth? Small daily acts of humility add up. They build a foundation that ego can't touch. Modern examples. Ego-free greatness. Ryan brings up real-world figures who embody this mindset. Angela Merkel, a global leader who let results speak louder than personality. Bill Belichick, arguably the NFL's greatest coach, known for deflecting attention and focusing on preparation. Jackie Robinson, the first African-American to break the color line in Major League Baseball, who faced hate, violence, and history with unshakable grace and discipline. These aren't just successful people. They're people who chose humility over ego, and greatness followed. Rewind and recognize. Let's recap the core truths. Ego isn't something you conquer once. It's a daily battle. It shows up in ambition, in victory, and in failure. You beat ego not by hating yourself, but by understanding yourself. This book is not about crushing confidence. It's about building a confidence that doesn't need to shout. You can be bold and humble. You can be driven and self-aware. You can want success without being consumed by it. And when you realize that, you're finally free. Ego is not who you are. If you're still here, that says something about you. You're not just looking for quick success. You want to grow. You want to build a life not run by ego, but by purpose. And ego is the enemy, is one of the most powerful guides you'll ever find on that path. Tell me in the comments, what part of this message hit you the hardest? I'd love to hear it. If you found this valuable, share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe to the Bookkeeper for more book-powered breakthroughs every single week. Until next time, stay humble, stay focused, and remember, the enemy is not out there. It's the voice in here. Let's quiet it together.